Welcome to this lesson on working with averages. You already know how to calculate a mean, but the LANTITE often asks you to work backwards, finding a total from a mean or figuring out a missing value. We'll also look at how outliers can distort averages and what that means for interpreting data. These are very common question types, so let's get into it. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to work backwards from a mean to find a total, solve for missing values when the mean is known, and explain how outliers distort averages. These skills come up regularly on the LANTITE, so make sure you are comfortable with each one before moving on. You already know the mean formula total divided by the number of values. But the LANTITE often requires you to rearrange this. If you multiply the mean by the number of values, you get the total. This means if you know any two of the three quantities, the mean, the total, or the count, you can always find the third. This simple rearrangement is the key to most of the questions in this lesson. Here is a straightforward total from mean question. A class of 28 students has a mean test score of 72. To find a total, we rearrange the formula. Total equals mean times the number of values. So 72 times 28 gives us 2016. That is the sum of every student's test score. This type of question appears frequently on the LANTITE. Now let's find a missing value. 5 students have reading scores, and the mean is 74. Step 1. The total must be 74 times 5, which is 370. Step 2. Add the 4 known scores, 64 plus 78 plus 71 plus 83 equals 296. Step 3. Subtract 296 from 370 to get the missing score, which is 74. This three-step process works every time. Find the required total, add the known values, then subtract. This is a classic LANTITE scenario. A pre-service teacher has 3 practice test scores and wants to know what she needs on the 4th test to reach a mean of 70. The required total is 70 times 4, which is 280. Her current scores add up to 205. So she needs 280 minus 205, which is 75 on her 4th test. This type of question, what score do I need, is one of the most common average problems on the LANTITE. An outlier is a value that sits far away from the rest of the data. Outliers pull the mean towards them. In this example, the score of 96 is an outlier. With it, the mean is 76. Without it, if we replace 96 with 76, the mean drops to 72. But notice the median stays at 72 either way. This is why the median is often described as resistant to outliers. The LANTITE frequently asks you to recognize when the mean is being distorted and whether the median would be a better measure. Let's apply this to a real scenario. A school reading group had 12, 14, 11, 13, and 42 attendees across 5 days. The mean is 18.4, but look, that is higher than 4 of the 5 values. The 42 was probably a special event or open day. The median is 13, which much better represents what happened on a typical day. On the LANTITE, when you see a data set with one unusually high or low value, you should recognize the mean may be misleading and the median is often the better measure. Here's another common question type. The mean height of 6 students is 152 centimeters. A new student who is 166 centimeters tall joins. What is the new mean? First, find the original total. 152 times 6 is 912. Then add the new height. 912 plus 166 is 1078. Finally, divide by 7, since there are now 7 students. 1078 divided by 7 is 154 centimeters. The new student was taller than the original mean, so the mean increased. That makes sense. Before we move to practice, here are the most common mistakes. First, forgetting to multiply. Students try to add the mean to the count instead of multiplying. Second, dividing by the wrong number. When a new value is added, the count changes, so make sure you divide by the new total count. Third, assuming the mean always represents the data well. When there is an outlier, the median is usually a better measure of the typical value. Pause the video and try these 5 problems. Problem 1. The mean of 15 values is 24. What is the total? Problem 2. The scores are 80, 65, 90, a missing value and 70, and the mean is 75. What is the missing score? Problem 3. After scores of 62, 71, 68, and 75, what fifth score gives a mean of 70? Problem 4. The mean of 8 values is 50, and a ninth value of 59 is added. What is the new mean? Problem 5. A school has 4 classes with mean sizes of 22, 25, 24, and 21. What is the overall mean class size? Check your answers when you are ready. Let's recap. The key formula rearrangement is total equals mean times count. To find a missing value, work out the required total and subtract what you already have. Outliers pull the mean towards them, so when there are extreme values, the median is usually a better representation. On the LANTITE, always check whether the average being reported actually makes sense for the dataset. These skills, finding totals, missing values, and understanding outliers, come up very frequently, so keep practicing them.